So welcome back, friends. Do I have a fun video for you? The video we've all been waiting for, or I'm very curious to find out, can the new cordless, the wireless cordless worm drive saws hang with, well, the industry setting standard, the Skill worm drive saws? I mean, this is the saw that has probably built the majority of the houses out west here anyway for the last 50 years, if not almost all of them or a variant of them. Finally, we're starting to see some really nice cordless tools from Dewalt's one, Makita's another, that claim to be able to replace these. I will be so glad to cut the cord on these saws. Let's find out today if they can even compare. Let's take a quick look at these two saws, as this is the standard for the framing industry, for the construction industry, has been for years and years, of variants of them. The Mag77 skill saw, the worm drive saw. This is a very powerful saw, super versatile, and something that probably a lot of you have in your garage. My grandfather had these. My dad's had dozens of these. I've got probably 3 of them kicking around here, and they're just the workhorse. You can pretty much do anything with them. But the biggest drawback, of course, is the cord, and especially when you're working in remote locations like what we have, where I might be a long ways away and I'm relying upon generators or several hundred feet of extension cords. It's really a nuisance, and it's every time I grab I'm getting spoiled. You know, we're getting spoiled with the cordless tools. Are getting so good that when you have to deal with a cord, it's just tough. So on the Dewalt side, and before we start, this is not a paid product endorsement. I bought this full retail with my own money. I'm going to call it like I see it. I'm going to say it as it is. I'm not beholden to anyone. So just in case you're wondering, because you never know. All right, so this is the Dewalt, the Flexvolt 12-volt battery, or excuse me, 20-volt. 60-volt variable. You know, I'm not going to go into the details, but the battery goes into here. They both use the same blade, the 7 1/4 inch blade, magnesium base, a lot of metal in this. It's really seems to be put together very well, feels very solid. Weight wise, they're pretty similar. I don't know exact what the weight is, but the features are going to be similar. We're going to have, you know, be able to bevel. We've got what else we have? Depth gauge. We've got our stop set. I mean, they're basically the same thing. What I'm really interested in finding out is power wise, because these are powerful saws, and for a cordless to be able to keep up with one of these, actually, to be honest with you, I'm a little bit skeptical. So how I've decided to test these saws is a rip test. This is a full dimension me. It's a full 2 by, I think it's a 2x8, 2x10, but it's a full 2 inches thick of Douglas fir, and it's dry and pretty hard. I've snapped 4 chalk lines in here at 1 inch increments, and we're gonna rip full length down one end, turn, and come back, and we're gonna time this. Now this is a lot to ask of a saw. I mean, nothing tasks a saw harder than a long rip like this, especially in dry, harder wood. It's not hard like oak, but reasonably hard as far as for fir. This is common. This is going to be the most common species that we're going to be using out here, and then we'll see who comes out on top. So let's go take a look at the blades that I've selected. So I wanted this to be as fair as possible. In a perfect world, I would have the exact same blades, but they're very similar. So this is the blade that came with the Dewalt. It's a, what is it? It's a general purpose framing blade. Should be a 24 tooth, yeah, a 24 tooth framing blade, carbide, that is brand new. This is the same. This is a brand new, never used 24 tooth carbide blade. This is a Freud, whatever, high quality blade, no question about it. If I were to give an advantage of the blade, this might actually be a better blade, but they're both being, this is the best I can offer you. This is what I have in my inventory. All right, let's do this. We'll start with the Mag77. We'll don. Remember the first time I heard don and doff. Don and doff with the fire department. We'll don our safety equipment here and commence with our test, starting with the Mag77 skill saw on 2 rips through full dimension 2x. 3, 2, 1, go! pushing the saw, not to a stall, but until the motor was definitely winded down. That was as fast as I could go with a brand new blade. So that was pretty quick. That's going to be tough to beat. All right, now for the Dewalt, we've got the brand new carbide blade that came with it. We've got a fully charged factory battery, one of the newest ones I have, and we'll see what happens. On 3, 2, 1. Wow, that's powerful. That's really fast. So what do we learn from this? Well, first thing we learned is if you're going to do a test like this, you should be using a rip guide because my lines got covered with sawdust and I couldn't see them, and I was going through like that, putting excess bind on the blade and slowing it down a little bit. In that respect, the skill actually had a little bit of a benefit, being the first cut was clear and nice and straight. So that was kind of on me. But what I don't know what the time is yet, because I've got to go in on the post edit and I'll see what they were, but it seems to me that this was way faster. It had a lot more power, which really surprised me, because those 77s are just, I mean, those are powerful saws. They're intimidating saws. I mean, you pull the trigger and they jerk. Here's the bottom line with these cordless tools, though. Of course, you know, the drill. How many of you have used a corded drill after having a good quality cordless? You know, very few of us, unless you have very specific jobs. What I'm starting to find out is that if I buy high quality cordless tools, I'm not using the other ones, and I know that because, perfect example, you know, I've got a cordless Sawzall. I haven't once used any of my corded Sawzalls since I've had this. There's just no need. These are so good, and to be able to get rid of the cord and have a battery that that works with everything, all your tools, is very convenient. Same with the nail gun. You know, my Senko finish nailer was starting to die. I just used it, and when I went to replace it, I was looking at these and I thought, well, I've already got the batteries and I don't have to buy a battery, so you can save, you know, a little bit that way. And I went with the Dewalt finish nailer, and I mean, no more cord, no more airline, no more compressor. I mean, it simplifies jobs. It is so beyond convenient. Now, as far as brand goes, I don't think it really matters. I'm only featuring Dewalt because that's what I'm invested in with my battery system. I've got all the batteries and the chargers. It would be foolish for me to go buy Makita or Porter Cable or Milwaukee and start that whole process over again. It's just like photography equipment. You know, I'm invested in Canon. I've got Canon lenses and Canon batteries and Canon chargers and accessories. It would be foolish for me to go buy Sony or Nikon because it's a huge investment to go, and it's an inconvenience to have multiple batteries and multiple things. So I just don't recommend it. So whatever you decide on, whether it be Milwaukee or Makita has one of these, very similar, probably just as good. Just to kind of stick with that, because now I'm phasing all the other stuff out, and now I have Dewalt. That's what I've went with, and now I have all the batteries and everything's interchangeable. Like in a pinch, you know, I can use any of these batteries anywhere. I can use the same big Flexvolt batteries in my cordless drills, or I can snap it out in my table saw, or I can snap it out in my worm drive saw, or my nailer, or my reciprocating saw, or whatever. So it's convenience. That's what we're paying for. They're more expensive than their corded brethren. You know, buy usually $100, $125, $50. Nail guns are more expensive than your pneumatic nail guns, but what are we paying for? Convenience. The trade-off is there's not the longevity. I don't care what anyone says. These are put together very well. I mean, it's got a magnesium frame, but it's cordless. It's plastic, and it's got batteries that are going to fail and go away. So yeah, it's quite possible that the Mag77, you're going to have one that belonged to your dad or your grandfather, and it's still going to be working and still going along just fine. These, well, they're more disposable, not so much, but it's convenience. And what is that worth to you to cut that cord and to get away from all of the cords and all that stuff? So you'll have to make that decision and judge. But this is legit, and I'll tell you right now, I don't think that the Mag77 will probably ever see use again, provided as long as this is running. I'm never gonna grab that. I'm never gonna deal with a cord. It's not as powerful. It's not as convenient. These are just, they're just better. They're just simply better with those few takeaways. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to click the thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one.